Hello guys, welcome back to Watch Addiction Watch Reviews. Today we are taking a look at STOWA. I have reviewed a couple of their pieces in the past. You can check back in my log for the review of the STOWA Klassik Flieger 40 and the STOWA Antea. Now today we have a bit more of a sporty watch. As you can see, this is the STOWA Klassik Flieger Sport with the BR style dial, the Baumuster dial. As you can see, it's a bit different than the classic dial, or the A dial I should say. Now STOWA has been around for a long time. They were one of the 5 main brands to produce watches for the German army, or the German pilots specifically, during World War II. Now they did produce watches alongside with other brands such as IWC, Vempe, Langa, and Laco. And this is the 5th one, obviously. These are the 5 brands that produce those watches. Now STOWA is still going strong today, although they are under new ownership, but they're still staying true to their roots. STOWA does have their own factory in Germany in the Black Forest region, where they produce and assemble all of their timepieces. So this watch is really made in Germany. It doesn't just say made in Germany, it actually is made in Germany, which is great. Now the price tags for these watches are not too bad either, considering for the what you actually get for your money. I believe this one is 1,050 euros in this exact configuration. There are a bunch of different customizable options for STOWA, as you know. You can engrave your rotor, you can get custom different things, different straps. You can pick your dial, of course. And this one, today we are taking a look at the 43mm Sport Flieger. So this watch is basically a Flieger, but a more modernized Flieger, one that can actually go underwater. So instead of your classic 40mm, we do have a 43mm case on this watch. In terms of lug width, we are looking at 51mm. In terms of thickness, we are looking at 12.8, which is relatively thin, considering this watch can go to 200 meters in the water. The crown is pull and push. We do get a medium-sized onion crown, and as you can see, it's very nicely done. Let me get you a little closer here so you can see the details. Just perfectly done there, cut out wonderfully. I think it looks great. Now the case is all 316L solid stainless steel, completely brushed, and it's grounded by hand in a matte finish, sort of. It's very smooth to the hand. It's really nice, the finishing. Unless you have one of these in your hand, you will not know the level of finishing that they finish these to. As you can see, the smooth bezel here, it's basically a 3-piece case. Bezel, case, and case back. But it's really smooth. It resembles basically the same thing as like in, a luxury IWC Flieger or something like that. I think the finishing is just as good. But those watches cost like 4 times the price. Just for branding, I assume. Now, this watch does contain the ETA 2824-2, but it does contain the top grade version, which you don't see in a lot of brands. The top grade version is the best ETA movement basically you can get. If we take a closer look here through the case back, it does have real true blued screws, so they're heated blue. We also do get a nice amount of perlage in here, as you can see. If I spin the rotor, you can see it even more. Really nice perlage work on the actual movement there. We do get the custom STOWA rotor on this model, which gives you all your information. I would say this is like a dog tag for your watch. As you can see, it does state if I get really close here, it does state the owner of the brand STOWA 360, your movement, and your model Flieger Classic Sport. And it is screwed down, of course. We do have 200 meters of water resistance, 20 ATMs labeled right there. STOWA since 1927, made in Germany, stainless steel. Now the top-end ETA movement that's used in this watch from ETA states, -4 or +4 seconds a day. I have been getting like +1 seconds a day on this watch, which is really great. I mean, it's better than cost if you think about it. It's like the same accuracy as my Rolex Submariner, which keeps great time. So no issues with the accuracy here. I've been testing it for about 4 or 5 days, and yeah, that's just really great to see. Now, the actual movement, of course, does have hand winding. It does have hacking. It also does have 26 joules and a power reserve of around 40 hours, which is pretty standard. Operation of the watch is very simple. Most of you guys already know, but the self-winding is very smooth, and you get a really nice grip on this onion crown, as you can see there. Now, one position you pull out, it's going to hack, and you can set the time precisely. Very simple. Push it back in, the seconds hand will start sweeping again. Anyway, some other dimensions. This is a 24mm strap here. We do have a bigger case here. This watch is much more bold and modern. I feel it fits my persona a bit more than the classic 40 or the 40mm Fliegers. It's just a bit more bold, manly, I would say. Definitely a very manly watch. Now getting to the B-style layout on this dial here, we have a matte black dial with all printed 0 through 60 markings over here, fine minute markings, and then on the inner part of the dial you have your, obviously your 12 o'clock clock, or your 1 through 12 for your hours, so it's very simple to read. Nice long sword style pilot hands here, which are heat treated blue, as well as the second sweeping hand. As you can see, if I get in the light, you can see it's kind of blue there, and that's basically from the heat treating. It's a very extensive process and not a cheap process, and mainly only used on luxury watches. And STOWA always uses heat-treated blued hands, which is really good. It keeps the quality up there, keeps it up top with the best. Now these dials are really simple to read, as you can see. You see these smaller hour hand is in between 1 and 2, and then you can just read it straight off of here, 137. Really easy to read with the long minute hand and the small hour hand for the inner track here. A nice orientation arrow, slightly different from the A-style dial, where the A-style dial has the 2 reference dots over here. This is a straight arrow pointing up. It is loomed as well. There's tons of C3 Super Luminova all over this dial, and I will get you a shot at the end of the video. The loom is quite good on this one, I must say. Now taking a look at the straps supplied with this watch, as you can see, it's a nice leather strap here with the 2 buttons here, which is pretty typical of Fliegers back then during World War II, and now if you want to keep that same style. It's a very, smooth strap to the hand. It's very comfortable. I've had this strap before. We get a nice STOWA embossing here on the back since 1927. Contrast off-white stitching. As you can see, the backside of the buttons there. It's a very nice strap, and what I like about it is that they have one floating keeper here, one stationary here, and a stationary bar here, which is brushed, as well as the brushed sign buckle with STOWA there, which is very neatly done if you can really look at that. It's pretty neat. Definitely stays on your wrist firm and it doesn't move around. I would say this is probably the best way to go. Obviously, if you want to take this watch in the water, which is one of the main reasons why you'd be buying the 200-meter Sport, you want to get your watch wet, you want to go swimming with it, you want to use it in a modern way. So you definitely would want to change out to a rubber or silicone strap. There are a ton of options. Even STOWA sells a rubber strap as well with a vanilla scent. I believe those are on their website also. I will drop a link down below to STOWA so you can read more about them in the description below after this video. Right now I want to show you that crazy Super Luminova, which is really something that I really like. Loom is a big thing for me, especially on Flieger watches. At night it just looks really cool and interesting, and let's take a look. Here we go with that loom shot. As you can see, everything is lit evenly. So the hands are not brighter than the markers or nothing like that. And as you can see, it's really bright. It does not fade quickly. I love how they loom the sweeping seconds hand. If you see it going around the dial there. And there's the orientation arrow, which is lit, pointing directly towards the 12 o'clock position for a nice reference. And we have the 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, and then the triangle would be 60, of course. So very easy to read at night. It does not fade quick. It's really bright, and there's no issue here. Now there she is on my 6.5-inch wrist. Like I mentioned, 43 millimeters and 51 across and 12.8 millimeters thick. And my wrist is 6.5 inches. So as you can see, obviously it does wear bigger than a 40 millimeter watch, but it fits, it fits just fine. I like watches a little bigger. Obviously today I'm wearing a 46 millimeter Breitling watch. So, obviously I like bigger watches. So this is no issue for me. But my wrist itself is not that big. It's 6.5 inches. And I think it's a perfect fit for my wrist. It sits very nice on the wrist there. And if you didn't notice, we do have a slightly domed sapphire crystal, which is extremely legible. There's no distortion or anything like that, like something you might see on a Hamilton Khaki field, like that crazy glare. There's no glare on this watch at all. The dial is quite recessed down there, if you didn't notice that. I think that's one of the main reasons why that is like that. But anyway, the strap straight out of the box definitely conforms nicely. I was actually wearing this on a nice rubber strap, and definitely fits the part. You can wash your hands with it. You can even go in the shower with it. You can do anything with it. It's 200 meters water resistant. So it's a great thing. You get the great traditional Flieger style, but it's water resistant and it's in a modern case size. So all around, I think it's a great buy for the price. You're really buying a piece of history and something that will last a lifetime and you can hand down to someone or something like that. So let me know what you guys think. I did do a full written article on watchaddiction.com. Please check that out. I will drop a link down in the description below. As usual, this is the STOWA Klassik Flieger Sport 43mm with the B-style dial. Let me know what you think, guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.